Hello race fans and welcome back to Season 5 coverage of the Dr. Pepper Cup Series. We're in Fontana, California today for qualifying for the Lowe's 400 at Auto Club Speedway. Let's go ahead and get started. First up to qualify is Eric Cartman, one of the many drivers that was taken out in the lap 1 pile-up at Daytona. And Cartman is currently sitting 43rd in points after finishing dead last at Daytona. Let's see if Cartman can make his way in. Oh! Cartman immediately lost it. That's not going to be a good run for him. He's almost surely not going to make it with a run like that. Up next to qualify is a really unfortunate case. Somebody who showed a lot of promise but was unfortunately in the wrong place at the wrong time last week, and that's Mookie. She was unfortunately taken out in that lap 1 pileup, and she fell out of the top 36 in points as a result. She's currently right on the bubble in 37th. So she needs to make her way into this race if she wants to get back into the top 36 in points. Let's see how she does. Alright, there she goes. Slow start, but that's a much better run than Cartman's run. Mookie might get in with that. Up next is BCT, who like Mookie was in the wrong place at the wrong time and was unfortunately taken out in that pile-up last week. So, BCT has to make his way in on speed this week. He also fell out of the top 36 in points. One of 2 Joe Gibbs cars that has to qualify in on speed this week. Let's see how BCT does. Oh no! And that's going to be a DNQ for BCT. Oh no! The 20 car is not going to be in the race this week, folks. That's a DNQ. Up next is last week's pole sitter and BCT's teammate Twisted Studio, also for Joe Gibbs Racing, also having to make his way in on speed this week, trying to avenge his teammate who just failed to qualify. Oh, hard hit to the outside wall, but Twisted Studio is going to get in. Right now he's at the top of the board, but that is subject to change. Up next is the 19 of Osam the Neko, another unfortunate case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So one of the Evernham cars is going to have to qualify in on speed this week. Let's see how Osam does. Oh, and that's going to be a bounce off the inside wall, and he's going to come to a stop between turns 3 and 4. I don't know, that might be a bit borderline. I don't know if he's going to get in or not. Up next is the 25 of Anthony Dragonclaw, another victim of that pile-up. He also has to qualify in on speed this week. Very uncharacteristic for a Hendrick Motorsports car. Let's see how Anthony does. And in true Hendrick Motorsports fashion, that's going to put Anthony at the top of the board. Up next is J4X in the Morgan McClure Motorsports number 4, who has not shown very many good results in that car this season. And yet he claimed he was being held back at Ganassi, and yet he's done better at Ganassi than he has here. He's actually won at Ganassi in his old Ride the 41 car in Season 3. As for right now, he's in 42nd in points after finishing second to last at Daytona last week. So, he'd better hope he gets in. Oh, and that's going to be about the same spot as Osam. That's, again, probably going to be borderline. Up next is the first of 5 cars that missed the race last week at Daytona. It's Avocado in the 26. Let's see if Avocado can make the race this time. Oh, that's going to be even worse than Osam and J4X's runs. Pretty sure that 26 car might be missing the field again. Up next is Matt in the 33. He wrecked out at Daytona qualifying last week. Hopefully he'll be able to keep his car on the ground this time. And he is going to keep his car on the ground, and he's going to go straight to the top of the board. He's going to make the race. Up next is Green Hamster, who missed the field at Daytona last week after a poor qualifying run. Hopefully this week he'll be able to improve. And that might appear to be the case, so we'll have to check. And it is! Green Hamster will make the race, as Osam is currently on the bubble right now. So as of right now, Green Hamster is in. Up next is some dude in the 02 car. He missed the field last week, got pushed out, and hopefully this week he'll be able to stay in the top 30s in the yield. Cut. Up next is the 0-2 of some dude who missed the field last week after being too slow. Hopefully this week he'll be able to make it. Oh no! He immediately rolls over, and that's going to be a DNQ for some dude. Unfortunate. The last of the go or go home cars is the first person to qualify last week, that being Johnny Boy, who wrecked out. Hopefully this week he'll be able to keep his car upright. Let's see if he can do that. Here he goes! Oh no, he's gonna DNQ again! Oh no! Okay, we have 3 cars DNQ'd. We've got the 20, the 0-2, and the 92, and then Cartman in the 45. He's not gonna make the race. And the last car eliminated gonna be the 26 of Avocado, so he's also out. So, J4X and Osam are in. They make the race, and the 26 fails to qualify once again. With the go or go home cars out of the way, we can move on to the cars that are already locked in by points. First up of those is Fly Kevins in the 8 car, running a special MLB, excuse me. MLB All-Star Game paint scheme this week. There goes the DEI 8 car. Oh, he's going to spin it, but he's going to keep his car upright this week. Last week he had to go to the back due to wrecking out. Up next is the driver's second place in points. He finished 4th at Daytona and led some laps. So, it's D_F up next. Lowe's Power Up Pride car. This is one of 3 cars being sponsored by Lowe's this week for the Lowe's 400. Oh no! And the 48's going to overturn in turns 3 and 4. That means the 48's going to have to go to the back. And have to start in the back using a backup car. Up next is Irving in the 27 car. Whoa, he spins it, but he's going to maintain control and keep the car upright, so he's in. Up next is a veteran from Season 3, it's Charizard. Let's see how he does. Oh, hard contact with the outside wall, but he's going to come to a stop in about turn 4, I think. Yeah, about the exit of turn 4. We don't have turns 1 and 2 anymore. It's causing too many problems, so just turns 3 and 4. But he's going to be in. Up next is Luxury Lapras in the second of 3 Lowe's cars this week. Oh! Looks like a promising run, but both of the Lowe's cars that have qualified so far are gonna have to start at the back due to having to switch to backup cars. Up next is the promising young rookie in the 12 car, Xander. Good run. It's gonna put him currently 4th place on the board. Up next is Dwalin, yet another unfortunate victim of that pileup on lap 1 last week. Relegated him all the way back to 36th in points. He just barely made it above the cut line, so he's already locked in. Let's see how well he does in qualifying today. Oh, hard bounce off the outside wall, but he's going to be about 5th place on the board right now. And right after that is his teammate, the defending winner and 2-time champion Evan Landis, who led 6 laps last week, en route to his Daytona win, 6th win of his career. This guy is a legend. That's going to put him about 3rd place on the board. He knocks his own teammate out of the top 5, but all's fair in racing, I guess. Except if you cheat and modify your car, which, that's despicable. Up next is Donder in the 49 car. It may not be the Carrot Top car, but it's the closest car I've got. Believe me, if I had the Carrot Top car, I'd use it. Oh, he's gonna spin! It's gonna put him about the same spot as J4X. Up next is the winless Season 1 champion, Freddy Plushbear. Still looking for that first dub. Hopefully this season is the season he finally gets it. Oh, hard into the wall. Ouch. Up next is Stop Drop It's Cole in the 43 car, the only Petty Enterprises car that's going to be in the race this week. Cartman failing to qualify, Cole is the only chance that Petty Enterprises has to have a good starting spot this week. Oh no! And he's gonna roll over and he's gonna wreck out. That's going to be a backup car for the 43. He'll have to start at the back. Up next, we have Acid X Warrior. Yes, there's a Totodile driving this car. And that's totally fine. Of course it's normal for one of our drivers to be a Totodile. We've got 2 Charizards driving, for crying out loud. Oh! Oh, that's not good. Something must have gone wrong with that car, because that's gonna put him in the last car not to wreck out, I think. What happened? Up next is Shock Fang, who had to go to a backup car after wrecking last week in qualifying. Hopefully this week he'll be able to keep his wheels on the ground. He's running the exact same paint scheme as Osan the Neko this week. Of course, they're teammates, so that's okay, and they're gonna be in about the same spot. Up next is Fowler, taking J4X's old ride up to a 6th place finish last week, as well as leading 1 lap, so that's pretty good. Oh, around he goes, but he's gonna keep it upright. Up next is Sophie, who is thankfully locked in this week, and she doesn't have to race her way in anymore. Here she goes. Oh, that's a good run. That's gonna put her, I think, in 4th place on the board. Up next is another driver that doesn't have to race their way in anymore, and this guy shocked everybody by coming back from a suspension to finish 7th and lead a lap in what was supposed to be an expansion team. It was only supposed to run part-time, but it could run full-time now, and that is the 30 of Banana Doge. Good run, and that's going to put him about the same spot as Twisted Studio. Up next is Chalix on the 55 car, who finally gets to race with his teammate Matt this week. Oh no! But unfortunately for Chalix, he's going to have to go to the back of the pack, because he's going to have to switch to a backup car. Next up to qualify is Cam Spinner. Oh, and he's going to have to go to the back with a backup car as well. Ouch. Up next is Monkey, the last of the DEI cars to qualify. Oh, and this week he manages to keep the car upright. Up next is Admiral Latias, who, like Banana Doge, was only supposed to run a part-time team, but could potentially end up running full-time now. Plus, Admiral Latias also ended up leading a lap as well, so good for Admiral Latias, good for them. Let's see how they qualify this week. Last week they qualified 2nd, let's see how well they do this week. Oh no! And this week they're gonna have to go to a backup car. Unfortunate. Just like how they got taken out of the race, the valence of the car dug in and flipped it over. Up next is Duyan, who won at Daytona last season, and had a good showing this season until being taken out in one of the many wrecks. Here he goes! Oh, that's going to be a good run. That's going to put him 3rd place on the board. Up next is Max 198 in the 22, and that car does look a little bit worse for wear, but let's see how Max does anyway. Oh, he's going to spin it, and he's going to come in about the same spot as Freddy Plushbear. Up next is Cloud Chaser, another veteran who was taken out in one of the several big pileups last week. Hopefully this week he'll be able to avoid that and hang on to a good finish. There he goes. Oh no! What happened? Let's go up to the replay booth, see what happened to the 7 car. Ouch. Okay, let's see. Oh, the back of the car got thrown into the air. I think a tire must have blown or something. Sent the car into several sidewinders. Last week we had 7 cars wreck out in qualifying and have to go to backups. We've already reached that number for this week, and next up is the 28 car of Seta. Whoa! Managed to hang on to it despite sliding that thing, and he's gonna be in. Up next is Chris, one of the expansion teams that had a good showing last week at Daytona, so they're probably gonna be able to run full-time now. There he goes! Whoa! Keep your foot in it! And he's gonna be able to do that, and he's gonna be in about, let's see, I think about 8th or 9th place on the board. Up next is Principal of Baldy, who led 2 laps at Daytona before being taken out in a crash. Let's see how he does this week. Here he goes! Oh no! And we've already got more cars wreck out in qualifying this week than we had at Daytona. That's 8. Up next is Ace Gaming HD, who led the first lap of the season before being dumped by FSNR. He'll be coming up later. Let's see how Ace Gaming HD does. Here he goes! Whoa! He slides it, but he keeps it up against the wall and he keeps it upright. He's in. Up next is the 3rd of the 3 Lowe's cars, Bowser Fan 513, who had a wild ride last week. Here he goes! Oh, and he's gonna take over the pole. New driver at the top of the board, ladies and gentlemen. I just spoke about him a couple rounds ago, but here he is, FSNR, the 00 for Bahari Racing. Even though he dumped Ace Gaming HD on lap 2, which would eventually take the 17 out of the race, by the way. He's picked up a new sponsor, that being Hot Wheels. Let's see how FSNR does in this new sponsored car. Here he goes. Oh no! And he's gonna have to go to a backup car. Ouch. Next up, he made a pretty crazy pass around the outside to avoid a wreck last week. It's Demonic Craft Gamer. Here he goes. Good run. He's in. Next up, it's me! Let's see how I do. Oh, that car almost went over there. Gonna have to take a look at a replay, see just how close that car came to going over. I saw the wheels come off the ground there. What a save. Alright, let's see what happens. Somewhere around here. Right there! That could have been a nasty blowover. And right after my run is my teammate XD123. Let's see how he does. There he goes. Whoa! He's gonna keep that thing going. Great run. Next driver up is Mr. Patrick 5000. Let's see how he does. There he goes. Oh! He's gonna end up diving into the grass, and that's gonna bring the car to a halt. He's in anyway, but he's not gonna have a good spot. Up next is Fledge in the famous Silver Bullet, number 40. There he goes. Oh, what a save. He rolls it over, but he brings it back onto all four wheels. That means his position still counts. So let's head up to the replay booth and see just how he managed to do that. Wow. Let's take a look and see what happens here. Camera goes out of focus a bit, and ooh, head under the wall and completely over. Wow, what a ride. Anyway, up next is the 93 of Shadow Hyena. Let's see how he does. Oh! Shadow Hyena is not going to be so lucky. This time he's not able to roll that car back over like Fledge did. He's going to have to go to a backup car. Up next, we saved the best for last. Last car to qualify is the number 6 of Dr. Blood Studios. Let's see how he does. Last week he qualified 7th, and this week he is on the course to qualify in about the same spot. And what do you know, he did. 7th place starting spot again. With qualifying out of the way, here's your starting lineup. In row 1, we have BowserFan 513 on the pole, then Matt making his first start of the season. Then Anthony Dragonclaw and Dewey. In row 2, we have Evan Landis, the previous winner, and previous 2 champions actually. Then Sophie, then Dr. Blood Studios, and Twisted Studio, the previous pole sitter. Row 3, we've got Banana Doge, Chris, Fledge, and Xander. Row 4, we have Ace Gaming HD, Dwallin, Demonic Craft Gamer, and XD123. Row 5, we have Charizard, Fowler, the one car of Monkey, and Seta. Row 6, we've got me, and then we've got Mookie, we've got Irving, and we've got Freddy Plushbear. Row 7, we've got Max198, Green Hamster, Fly Kevins, and Shock Fang. Row 8, we've got Osam the Neko, J4X Donder, I'm sorry this isn't Carrot Top Car, it's the closest I've got, and Mr. Patrick 5000. Row 9, we've got the last of the cars that made their way in on speed, in terms of the cars that were already locked in. We got Acid X Warrior, and then the first of the cars that had to go to backups, Shadow Hyena, FSNR, Principal of Baldi. Row 10, we've got Cloud Chaser, Admiral Latias, Cam Spinner, and Chalitz. And row 11, the last 3 cars that made it in were Stop Drop It's Called, Luxury Lappers, and D_F, 2 of the 3 Lowe's cars. And as for cars that didn't make the field, we've got Avocado, he missed the field again. Eric Cartman, karma for being public enemy number 1 last season. Johnny Boy misses the field again. Some Dude misses the field again, and BCT is a surprising entry here that isn't in the race. Wow. Did not expect that 20 car to miss the field. Anyway, that's going to do it for qualifying. We'll see you all on race day.